Hi, I'm Lynette, and this video is going to be about Frank ticheli. Frank ticheli is an American composer who has composed a lot of works for the orchestral, choral, chamber, and concert bands. As of October 2025, he is at the age of 67. I chose to make a video about this specific composer because out of all the works that we are doing in this choir session of fall 2025, Earth Song stood out the most to me. Now, I'm not really the kind of person to listen to this song to understand the lyrics. I usually absorb the melody first. But this song, I heard it for the first time and I could feel what the song was about just from the melody. And I thought that was really cool. And I had to look up the composer, and here we are. Now about Earth Song. This is a work that talks about longing for peace or finding peace. More specifically, inner peace. In this world filled with war and hatred, I doubt it's gonna be easy, but we're humans and we are free to think, which means we are free to yearn for peace. The play with harmonies at the beginning of this piece is very interesting. Some of the notes that we're supposed to extend for a really long time with the other sections. For example, the very beginning of the piece, measure 1 and 2. It puts this question into your head. Is this right? Are these the wrong notes? Obviously, these are the right notes. This is where you can see the brilliant job that the composer has done to convey the emotions like uncertainty and unsureness. And this specific arrangement of harmonies really do make sense when you think about it lyrically, as the words suggest us walking through a world without peace, in search of peace. And obviously, that will evoke emotions like anxiety, tension, and uncertainty. Just like the harmonies. The harmony that comes up right after this at the pickup to measure 15. This it gives this relief to the audience, especially right after the deliberate dissonance that was going on right before this. It also makes this harmony sound extra nice. There is this repetition of in vain at measure 15 and repetition of in pain at measure 24. These words repeating again and again, it really indulges us in this feeling of us searching for peace that realistically will never arrive. Finally, at the end, when we sing peace, it sounds musically different and actually surprising from the rest of the piece, but at the same time it also feels complete. This helps us understand that peace does not always have to be what you expect it to be. It also does not have to arrive at a time that you expect it to, but when it happens, it will be satisfying, surprising, but complete. Overall, I think that song uses the best words to convey what most of us humans feel on the inside. Now, here are some tips to bring these meanings into your performance. When you practice personally, reciting each word with the intended emotion will actually help bring a lot of meaning into your performance. The first half of the piece is really unsure and filled with uncertainty. By the end, it is more hopeful and more positive. So focusing on these emotions will actually make the performance much better. Being confident in your parts will help us bring more emotion into the performance. Plus, it will help us enjoy the harmonies when we perform as a group. When you practice in a full choir, there are a lot of things that you need to be more careful about. For example, the dissonance part at the very beginning. It is very important that you stay focused throughout so that you won't lose your note after being confused listening to the other notes. Now, right before the end of this piece, there's this insane build-up. It starts from measure 34. Now, this plays around with the dynamics, so we have to be really careful to use the correct dynamics in the correct spots to bring out the best emotions. Another choral work of Frank ticheli that I really like is There Will Be Rest. At measure 49, when it says, I will make this world of my devising. The music really picks up from this passive state to an active state. It really shows the strength and the self-will and all those emotions that the composer is trying to convey. Apart from the choral works, Frank ticheli has a lot of instrumental compositions, and I would like to mention one of my favorites. It's called Shenandoah. that will be it for this video about Frank Ticheli, and I would really strongly suggest you to listen to more of Frank Ticheli's works. I hope you'll have a really good time. Thank you.